Hello, I'm Crickets and welcome back to I Have a Story. I miss the days where I just looked at women as such sweet, innocent little flowers. I remember back when Clinton got caught with Monica Lewinsky. And one of my first thoughts was, poor Hillary, she has to deal with that jerk. She has to deal with the publicity of all this. Today my mind has really changed. And while I still love women and I still find certain women are still sweet and innocent little flowers, I'll tell you what, it's really changed. I miss the old days. Do you think it's possible that Hillary is really just so sweet and innocent and she doesn't have her own team of Chippendales at her beck and call? Really goes to question. But recently this video that I'm about to play for you recently popped up again, and I'm going to share my thoughts. Because I don't know how I can't remember people's names, but I can remember their phone number or incidences like this that took place. Does anybody, well here, let me play this video for you real quick, and then I'll tell you where my mind instantly went after watching this resurface.
You know, it's like everything. It hides in plain sight. Epstein was hiding in plain sight. We all knew about him. We all knew what he was doing. But we had no one that was, legal aspect that would go after him.
Well, let me ask you something. After watching that, what came to my mind, does anybody out there remember? I tried searching this on the internet, and I remember this making headlines, and this was back when John McCain was still alive, which that was John McCain's wife that we just saw speaking. What came to my mind was was when it hit the news headlines that, if I'm not mistaken, it was Clinton, and I know it was John McCain because it opened up a lot of people investigating John McCain, and we were all taught that John McCain was such a wonderful guy. But it hit news headlines about how people started investigating him after this incident that I'm about to talk about how his foundation was no different than the Clintons. Their foundation, the McCain Foundation, was just a money laundering fraud, a way to avoid taxes. And millions of dollars that was never used to do any good. It was just used for their own personal benefit. What hit the headlines that led up to those investigations, and these were independent people again who were digging up through these files, but it hit the headlines, and I'm pretty sure it was the Clintons and the McCains were invested in a company in which human trafficking camp was found on. And of course, the political powers that be, they denied any knowledge of it. We didn't have anything to do with it. We're just financially invested in these companies. We don't know anything about the bad that's going on. But now they want to come out and say, oh, well, we knew about Epstein. But yet we're finding out more and more of these people's involvement with what took place with Epstein. I don't know how much of any of these people were innocent in all this. She wants to claim there was no legal entity that would go after Epstein. You guys are the legal entities. Your husband was what? Was he as a senator? So how do you not have any legal power to go after pedophiles? We didn't hear you making headlines trying to get him locked up. So maybe this will help investigators, or maybe open up some doors to people to do some research. The internet only shows me what it wants to show me. I can look for information, and the internet will give me nothing but lists of absolutely nothing to do with what I'm trying to research. So I'm really struggling trying to find these, but I know it happened. I remember the headlines of these trafficking camps being found on a property in which these politicians were invested in. And now what we're learning with these politicians, I just can't help but to think, there might be something to it. There might be a way to open up more investigation and doors to look through more research to find where these people may have been tied to that. So I thought I'd share that with you. Do any of you remember that? Can any of you find the headlines where these trafficking camps were found on commercial property that these politicians were invested in? This, what I would say, would have been roughly back in the days of when Clinton was in office. Obviously, John McCain was still alive. I know that. How many of you remember? How many of you can find research on that? please let me know. Please help investigators and let them know if you can. Or investigators out here, maybe this will help lead you down an avenue to find more.